Well, welcome back for our final video dealing with some strategies to help you annotate and better understand and analyze your text. This one is one that you did do last year, but last year we called it book, brain, heart. This refers to it as book, head, heart. Book is, what is the book about? Who's telling the story? What does the author want you to know? Um, Head is, what surprised me? What does the author think I already know? What challenged, changed, or confirmed my thinking? What did I notice? These are things that you're noticing. And then heart is, what did you learn about yourself from this text, and how will this help you to be better? So we look over here, it says many films have actors. Actors are the people who bring characters of a movie to life. Their job is to be able to turn into someone that they are not in real life. Actors try to make the characters seem like real people. Actors think a lot about the characters that they will play. They work with the movie's director to figure out who the character is. They imagine what the character's thoughts and feelings might be, and then they try their best to become the character in front of the camera. Great actors can truly feel and think the way their characters do. Even though they are only pretending, it seems like they're not. Many people become actors because they like being able to become someone else. For example, an actor today can play a cowboy in the 1800s for a film. So with this passage, I'm going to apply the book, head, heart strategy to it. So book. Well, the author wants me to know how actors feel about the characters they play. That's what the author wants me to know from this passage. How do actors feel? Head. So did anything surprise me? Let's see. Maybe it surprised me that actors can feel and think the way their characters do. They really put themselves in those places. Heart. What did I learn about me, or how will this help me become better? Well, I learned that I like to pretend to be someone or someone else sometimes as well. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I can put myself in someone else's shoes and I can act differently. Maybe that's what I learned from this. Let's try again. With this passage, I want you to be thinking about one book, one head, and one heart question that you could answer at the end of the passage. Art can transform communities in small but powerful ways. In Brazil, one of the most popular forms of self-expression is street art. The walls in cities like Sao Paulo, Rio, and Rio de Janeiro are covered in all different styles of street and graffiti art. In 2009, the Brazilian government made street and graffiti art legal, as long as artists had permission from the owners of the buildings. This law made it much easier for artists to use their talents around the city. Nearly 25 miles of metro line is covered with street art. This art is inspired by the parts of the city that the metro passes. Now, tourists from all around the world travel to see Brazil's colorful streets. Who are some of these street artists that transformed the Brazilian streets? Otávio Pandolfo and Gustavo Pandolfo are identical twins who both have a talent for street art. They started off breakdancing and soon became inspired by American hip-hop. The artist duo is called Os Gimos. Os Gimos means the twins in Portuguese. Os Gimos combines Brazilian culture and American hip-hop in their art. Their pieces often have brilliant colors. Their works often include paintings of bright yellow figures. Although many Brazilian street artists are male, some women have made names for themselves. Nina Pandolfo is one of these women. She uses plastic, spray paint, and other materials to create portraits of women. These women have large eyes and expressive faces. She also paints people in magical environments. She wants to remind people that the small details in life can sometimes be the most beautiful. Artists from around the world promote street art as a way to uplift communities. In Brazil, there are many nonprofits that teach graffiti techniques to young children. Through these lessons, children can learn about Brazilian culture, improve their writing skills, and contribute to their community. The Brazilian street art movement continues to grow and be a popular form of self-expression and protest. So your job now is to look back at this passage and come up with an annotation that you could create for book, head, and heart. Book, what does the author want you to know? Head, what does it make you think about? And heart, how can you make a personal connection to this text? The final strategy that I have for you is the big three questions. These are very similar to the book Head Heart. What surprised me? And here are some sentence starters. I was shocked about. I was surprised when. I never thought about. I could not believe. So what surprised you as you read this text? What did the author think I already knew? Well, I did not know what I was confused by. The author assumed, the author thought I knew what. So what did the author think you already knew and you needed to dig a little bit deeper? And then finally, the third question, what challenged, changed, or confirmed what I knew? At first I thought, but then, or I had to rethink, or I was right or wrong about X, Y, and Z. So these are the big three question sentence starters. So let's read this passage and see how it works. Every movie starts with an idea. Filmmakers and writers are inspired by their own lives and by the world around them. They pay attention to their experiences. These experiences make them think or feel a certain way. These thoughts and feelings help the filmmakers and writers come up with an idea or story. Writers spend a long time working on their stories. Some stories are very complicated. Other stories are simple. Stories are grouped into genres. Examples of some popular genres include comedies, romances, mysteries, and dramas. Writers create characters to place in their stories. Characters can be funny or silly. They can be smart or adventurous. They can have any mix of traits that make up a personality. Characters can even be animals. Think of some of your favorite movie or TV characters. What makes them special? Writers edit their work many times. This means that they read and change their scripts many times. A script is the story written to become a movie. Writers ask others to review their work too. Once writers are satisfied with what they've written, they can prepare to turn their script into a real film. So, what surprised me? I was surprised when I learned that movies are separated into genres like books are. What did the author think I already knew? Well, I didn't know that writers use their own lives to come up with their stories. So they thought I knew that, but I didn't. And finally, what challenged, changed, or confirmed what I knew? Well, I was right about writers rereading and editing their work. So let's practice this one. I'm going to read this passage to you, and you are going to choose one of the three big question sentence starters from the previous page to write your answers for each of these sections. Tornadoes form when strong winds spin. Wind is invisible, but we can see tornadoes because the spinning wind picks up water, dust, and debris. The spinning wind forms a tunnel that connects thunderstorm clouds with the ground. When a tornado is close, watch out. They can spin over 200 miles per hour and can cause a lot of damage. As they move across the land, they can easily pick up cars, trucks, and even houses, and then throw them very far. It is important to find a safe place to take shelter if a tornado gets close. A safe place could be a basement or the lowest floor, depending on where you are. If you're in a home without a basement, try to find a first floor closet or bathroom without windows in the middle of your house. You should curl up into a ball and cover your head and neck with your hands. Stay in a safe place until the tornado passes. But there are some people who actually want to get close to tornadoes. There are scientists who want to learn more about tornadoes. One of the best ways to do this is to get as close as possible to these twisters. They use special equipment and instruments to measure what is happening in and around a tornado. Tornadoes are extremely dangerous, and the scientists who study them up close are bold and brave. Their work is very important and has saved lives by giving people some warning to get out of the way of a destructive tornado. One special instrument these scientists use is called a tornado probe. It is about 6 inches tall and looks like a short orange construction cone. Inside the tornado probe, there are sensors to measure wind speed, temperature, pressure, and direction. Some probes even have cameras so the scientists can see and understand what it's like to be in a tornado. To be able to get these measurements, the scientists have to get a tornado probe near or into a tornado. Scientists will try to guess where the tornado will go next. Then they drive to that location, put down the probe. If they don't guess correctly, they pick up their probe and try another spot. If they are right, the tornado will go near or even right over the probe. And then they take all the measurements from the probe and use them to predict where future tornadoes may form and travel. So now your job is to do one of each of the three big questions. So you're going to look at the three big questions and pick one of what surprised me, what did the author already think I knew, what changed, challenged, or confirmed my thinking.